DJI Flip coming soon? Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest news on the DJI Flip. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. Actually, Ron, I can't believe it. We got something else coming. Yeah. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
You remember about the middle of the summer, we saw a leak of this picture of this Flip even before we knew about the little Neo.
The Neo, yeah. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I said, we saw this before. I remember that. I remember we talked about it on the show, you and Marcus and I. I said, we've seen this. This is out there. Boom, here we go. The Neo comes. I'm like, oh, okay. That was just somebody's whatever. And then boom, next thing we know, we get.
Apparently got FCC approval yesterday.
Yes, it did. Now, I got a couple articles here, and then we're going to look at Jasper and Igor and all that information here and you have some thoughts on this. Let's go ahead and here we go. Leak reveals a new DJI drone with compact folding design. Okay. Breaking. Thanks to my friend Yu. This is the world's first view of the DJI Flip. The Flip will be the next gen foldable DJI drone video. If you were waiting on a Mini 5, this is it. It will have O4 and probably LiDAR. Prop guards are like FPV carbon fiber. Cheers, Jasper. Okay. And here's the actual video that he posted out on his Twitter account right here. And you can see there it is.
Yep.
Yeah, which is very, very, very interesting. So, all in all, I mean, this is incredible, Ron. Let's go. We got a couple other things that I want to take a look at here. I thought I was still sharing. There's Marcus. Hey, Marcus.
Gentlemen, and I use that term loosely.
All right.
Yeah.
Marcus, are you ordering? Are you getting the Flip?
I likely will. I mean, obviously we don't know much about it. However, what intrigues me, I'll tell you what intrigues me about it. It's probably a better way to start, is the foldability of it. If it's truly that portable, I can see a lot of situations where that'd be pretty cool to have.
Well, you know what? And the first thought that hit me with this, guys, after I looked at this, okay, this is an upgrade to the Neo. Okay, this is a step above the Neo.
Of course, those guys said Jasper said it replaced the Mini 5.
No,
I think what he was doing with that, I think he was just saying, everybody, when's the Mini 5, Mini 5? I think for now this replaces the talk of a Mini 5. I don't think it's going to be as capable as a mini drone, but it's going to be much more capable than a Neo. Okay, it's going to have.
I'm going to set my Neo back already.
Well, the Neo is Marcus really nailed it on the head for me. He said, enjoy the drone for what it is, okay, and don't lament on what it is not. And I really took that to heart when Marcus said that. And I see that with a lot of the footage I've seen from the Neo. Enjoy it for what it is. Have fun with it. That's what the drone was designed to do.
Hey, Jay Bird's got a question in chat, I guess for us or whatever the panel here. He said, any idea on the price?
On this, okay,
yes.
I'm going to say at least 125, 100, maybe 150 more than the Neo. I'd say you'd probably be looking 425, 450 for something like this. That's just me. And the other thing that really popped into my head too when I saw this, okay, the Hover X1, all right, is competition for that because the Neo really doesn't compete with that as much as something like this. I think this would.
Hey, look at Intel Maxwell Rotor's comment. He says this is why we saw the beacon the other day. It's for the Flip.
He may be right. He may be right. That's a good point.
Es
That is a good
posible.
point.
Yeah.
Dave Bird, the follow-up question, Bill. He's asking that price you gave. Is that for a fly more combo or a drone only?
I think for like the 425, that's probably going to be for the drone only. I think for like a fly more, maybe 475, 500, somewhere in that kind of ballpark. And again, that's well under the price of the Mini. I mean, that, you know, and again, you know, just to emphasize, this bridges the gap between a Neo and a real true mini drone. Excuse me, a real true mini drone like the Mini 4 Pro, where, you know, that you're spending $1,000 for that, and here for something like this, you're spending about 500, but you're getting a much better camera than on the Neo, and I think you'll probably get better runtime on this as well, and then also maybe that tracking capability. So this is really interesting. I'm very intrigued by this.
There's the picture from last summer.
Yeah.
There it is. Huh?
Yeah, and it begs the talk. I mean, when you see things like this, guys, it begs the talk. You know, is this a week or so out? I mean, are we going to see this before Christmas?
Well, if it's only a week out, we don't know. We outside of FCC approval, we don't know anything. We don't know the camera specs. We don't know the the flight time, the battery power. We know the price. We know Zippo outside of the FCC approval and a couple drawings and one shady video.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I really at this point, you know, it just really begs the question. You know, is this something that we're going to see in 2024, or is this going to be the first drone we'll see in 2025? You know, I would say this, and this is just me talking. Okay. I don't think there's enough time to get this to market, but with DJI, who knows? I mean, they have not followed any consistent pattern at all. They've never followed a pattern consistently, and especially this year, they've never followed a consistent pattern.
Plus, they got to beat that drone ban.
That's true. That's very true. But, you know, again, this is another drone that will probably be under 250 grams. So that's going to be a real big plus in their column, because that means, you know, it's going to be very user friendly in a lot of other countries besides the United States, and it'll sell well.
So a couple things that we can tell from just the pictures. It looks to me like it has a gimbal on the camera, which tells me that the camera is probably going to be, is very likely to be an improvement over the Neo. The downside to the Neo is it just has that one-axis gimbal, and it's got electronic image stabilization. It's got a tiny little sensor anyway, and then EIS is moving that image all over that sensor, so it limits the resolution and how good the video can be. Now, if we have a gimbal, a real 3-axis gimbal, that probably will make that little sensor work a little bit better and probably get some better video quality. We can see that that we have those prop guards, which, as Ron pointed out to me yesterday, that's why this isn't a replacement for the Mini 5. That limits the flyability of the drone, right? That limits how fast it is and how quickly it can maneuver, etc. So again,
how it fights the wind.
How it fights the wind. It makes it more in that selfie drone kind of category, clearly designed to fly over people. So I'm sure it's sub 250 grams. It's another casual drone. In other words, it's not the main attraction. It's the product that you're going to use when you're at an event or with family or something like that, and you want to get some pictures or video. The way it folds, I think, is very, very interesting, because that tells me that it's ultra compact, and there's value in that. There's no question about it. Well, we don't see in any of this, or I don't think we've seen a controller, have we?
No.
So could it be used with that beacon controller they're talking about? maybe. I suspect that is more for use with the Air 3S, etc. Those kind of drones. This may not, who knows whether there'll be a controller available with it or not.
Again, one of the things, great points, Marcus. One of the things that really kind of intrigues me on the front of the drone is, it looks like there may be some type of obstacle avoidance with this as well. Right above
the big thing above the top, on top of the camera gimbal,
yeah, and having a 3-axis gimbal on there as well too, as you said, Marcus. It's a cut above a Neo, but it's not a Mini 4 Pro, and it fits. DJI's really kind of segmenting their drone series right now, and it's fitting areas for them, and they're hitting price points. Okay, who would have thought this year? If you would have, we would have talked, say, in January this year, and said, DJI is going to put out drones that are going to compete with Potenzic and what's the other one? Holy Stone. Okay, DJI is going to put out drones that are going to compete with them price wise, but yet have that DJI quality. I said, seriously, why would they go after that? And it's like, boom, here it is. And then the Neo is getting rave reviews. Time Magazine says, it's the drone to buy this year. And here we go. Here's another one in that same kind of category, in that same area, where it hits that price point that Holy Stone and Potenzic and some of the other off brands try to shoot for. And, they do it well. DJI has always done everything well. And here it is. It's coming out. And who knows? I mean, they could surprise us with a Christmas release. I don't know.
What Marcus pointed out about, looks like it has a gimbal, and you pointed out, looks like maybe a sensor on it, but that makes it not an FPV drone, because those guys don't really want 3-axis exposed.
Yeah, it's not an FPV drone.
A lot, and they don't want obstacle avoidance because they want to get close to stuff, but yet it has. So if it's not meant to be an FPV drone, it gets close to stuff, then I'm not getting the prop guards or whatever on it. So it's kind of doesn't make sense. And Bill, can I be a curmudgeon for a second?
You can do that, Ron. Absolutely.
Old guys like me or whatever, I'm not looking for getting more drones that have these prop guards on them that aren't good to win, that you got to fly with your phone or voice command or something like that or whatever. I don't really need more of those type of drones in my life or whatever. If DJI is going the way of getting away from good old fashioned controllers and camera birds that can cut through wind and whatever and fly good, man, and they're slipping more into these TikTok, Instagram drones that you fly with your phone or nothing at all, and again, they're for close proximity, not good in the wind or whatever. That's not the direction I want to see.
Ron, I think they're leaving no stone unturned. I don't think they're ignoring the likes of what you and I like to do. However, I think if they see a niche, they're going to go after it, and I suspect that's what this is.
I mean, that's what we think. But you look at comments all over the internet. People have been waiting for drones like the Mavic 4, the Mini 5 Pro. They've been waiting for those drones for over years now. In some cases, years. And instead of getting those drones, they get these type of drones.
Okay, I'm going to come right back at you, Ron. So remember when the Mavic 2 Pro, man, that was out for 3-4 years before we got the Mavic 3, right? So that Mavic is not the one that they update every year, and so that Mavic 4 is coming. It's just probably about the same as when they replaced the Mavic 2 Pro. I don't know, kind of along the same timeline. I think that they are discovering, their market research is discovering these little niches of areas. I guess if you could call the Neo a niche, I bet they're selling the heck out of it. And I think those are the kind of things they're attacking. And you're absolutely correct is it may not be for us, right? We're our interests are a little bit different, but it's a profit deal. They're in it for the money.
Absolutely. And Ron raises a great
but of course, from business, Marcus, if a real profit, a higher ticket item like a Mavic 4 brings in a lot more profit per unit than these little $199 things. You gotta sell I don't mean the word like an S-ton of small cheap things that make profit, where you release a bigger luxury product like cars. Okay. Lexus makes a lot more money selling their expensive, cars than, some little cheap car.
Yeah, but Toyota sells a lot more Camrys.
Well, Camrys aren't that cheap anymore. Camrys aren't that cheap anymore. This is more like a 1979 Corolla.
Okay, a Toyota Yaris. How about that, Ron?
Yeah, it's more like a Yaris or whatever,
Well, Ron raises a great point here, because one of the things DJI has done, and they've done it so well, and maybe they've done it a little too well, is they get us conditioned for these releases, okay? Mavic 3, we want to see a Mavic 4. Mini 4 Pro, we want to see a Mini 5 Pro, okay? They get us, we're anticipating that. Maybe their marketing is going a little too well as far as that's concerned, but yet also, too, like Marcus says, they're seeing a niche and they're filling it, okay? The Neo, okay? Now the Flip's coming out, of course, the Avanta, they see this niche, they're filling it. I mean, look at the price points that they're at now. I mean, you go up and down the line with, price points for where DJI's at, they hit almost everything up to $1,000. Something is going to be in that area, and then between $1,000 to $1,500, and then between $1,500 and $2,000. So there's really kind of a lot there. And I think a lot of people, and I know I've seen it in the chat before, and I think you guys, it's like, okay, the Neo's just come out, okay, and now all of a sudden we're gonna have a flip. We're gonna put a flip out there for you guys, enjoy it, and it's like everybody says, whoa, I barely got my Neo up in the air,
Well, let's also, the other thing is, I don't want to prejudge this drone before we even see. We really don't know what it is yet, so. I don't know, until it comes out and we actually see the specs and what it can or can't do. I may not want it at all, but I may. But on the other hand, if it does something really cool, I may really want it. I don't know yet.
Yeah, don't pre-review them before they're even released.
That's what you say that all the time, Ron, and it's so true.
It is very true. Yeah, the only thing that scares me is seeing those big old prop guards on there. That all tells me is the wooden cheese has already arrived at the Jersey Shore, and this drone won't cut the mustard this winter.
Hey guys, I went out to fly today, and I walked outside of the house, and it was sunny, blue skies. I went to my fly spot. I went over to Heroes Park. It was fogged in. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face, so there was no flying today, Ron. Ducks or no ducks, I couldn't fly.
Well, okay. And this is a great conversation, and I'm glad we're having this here, because I think a lot of us are like, well, number one, I'll hit it this way: the pocketbook. Okay, even if these are priced lower than normal here, it's like, okay, I'm gonna pay for this, how kind of thing. You think about that as well too. It's kind of oversaturated. But I
remember, just because the drone's cheap, if you buy a whole bunch of cheap drones, you want to spend as much money as you would want a more deluxe drone.
Exactly. Okay. And I think the other point that you guys had just raised, it's the old don't judge a book by its cover. Okay. We're seeing a lot of pictures, but we don't really have any specs on this. And we don't know what, things like runtime, the camera, and so forth, battery life, we don't know any of this right now.
We don't know what kind of release it'll be, whether it be one of those releases where in the US you can't get it until a month after it appears, and then you can only order from DJI. You can't get it from other stores. DJI needs to work on those issues a little bit harder.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't know that DJI's got a choice, Ron. If they had their choice, trust me, they'd be available.
Yeah, I think if they're going to do this, if they're going to pull the trigger on this before Christmas, I think we'll see something early next week. I mean, if that's what they're going to do, because seeing that FCC, I saw everything else, and then I saw the FCC filing today, and I'm like, it's coming. I mean, the old Johnny Cash song. I hear the train coming. It's rolling around the boom. And it is. This train is rolling around.
We've seen a couple releases recently where it took a month after the FCC showed up. So it still could be. But releasing something early January is never a good idea because most people are still paying their Christmas credit cards off, Bill.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We're getting ready. We're getting ready to have our grandkids down. All right, and getting the house ready. But we're starting to spend quite a bit of money because we're seeing some things that we need to make sure that we have for them, and want to make sure we have presents for our granddaughters and everything, and going out to eat because that's we're going to do a lot of that while they're here. So yeah, money is going to be pretty tight.
Bill highlight KC Crime Fighter's most recent comments about 4 back. He had the same concerns that I did about the availability of the drone.
Yeah, I agree. He's right. They probably want to do this, but I think right now, okay, for example, what was real interesting was, and I did it smart. When I got my Power 1000, I ordered that, and then separately I ordered the cables for it. And wouldn't you know, the cables were kind of like they were supposed to be shipped on the 29th. And I pinged them and I says, hey, when are these going to get shipped? And finally today they pinged me. Actually, they called me, believe it or not. And they said, we've gotten them back in stock. It'll get shipped. You'll have notification today. And boom, it did. So I think, because they have something on sale and a lot of people are starting to get it, they may run out temporarily of some of these things. So, and I think a lot of it is, when in an ideal world for them, for DJI, in terms of their logistics, they're going to have, like I've always said, they're going to have plenty of supply at their distribution hubs in the United States for when they make a release. Okay, and that's what it normally is in an ideal world. But it hasn't been that way due to a lot of shortages and a lot of other things.
It ain't their choice. It ain't their choice. Yeah.
Right. Normally in a perfect world, that's what would happen. But it's like Marcus said, it's not their choice. I mean, they're their hands are tied in a lot of instances. They may have part shortages from suppliers, and that was something we've seen over the past couple of years a lot, which has delayed a lot of their products from getting onto us. And and then popularity. Who knew the Neo was going to take off like it did? And they were out of stock for quite a while. I mean, it took a while to get that back in. So it's multifaceted. And then of course, there's still the looming drone ban that's coming over everybody that we really don't.
And then even the tariffs coming that could raise the price of drones.
And tariffs as well too. So we don't know any of this. Okay, and I just kind of like I'm putting my blinders on and moving ahead with this kind of stuff.
Maybe wise to buy all the drone stuff you need before January 20th, before tariffs raise prices.
And like Casey says, they still don't have the Air 3S. And it was interesting because when I got my replacement, the second replacement, guess where it came from?
Canada
again. Okay. And it's nice.
God bless the Canadians, Bill.
God bless you, Lauren.
Canada.
Oh, Canada. God bless you, Lauren, and all your fellow countrymen out there. We love you all. But it shows again, the logistics and things that are going on right now. Question of the day. What did you think of DJI Flip Coming Soon? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.